Number 21, Jane. Television programs and movies that depict violence among teenagers are extremely popular. Given how influential these media are, we have good reason to believe that these depictions cause young people to engage in violent behavior. Hence, depictions of violence among teenagers should be prohibited from movies and television programs, if only in those programs and movies promoted to young audiences. So Jane is saying that TV shows and movies that have violence among teenagers are super popular. And since this kind of media is really influential, we have reason to think that this depiction of violence can cause young people to also engage in violent behavior. So, depictions of violence among teenagers should be prohibited from movies and TV shows, particularly in the programs and shows that are promoted to young audiences. And Maurice is saying, but you're recommending nothing short of censorship. Besides which, your claim that television and movie depictions of violence cause violence is mistaken. Violence among young people predates movies and television by centuries. So Maurice is saying, first of all, you recommend censoring people. And besides that, your claim that TV and movie causes violence is mistaken because violence among young people has actually happened for a long time before movies and TV shows have even shown up. And here's the thing, that could be true. It could be true that violence among young people has existed for centuries and movies and TV shows are pretty recent. But what if movies and TV shows have caused an increase in violence? What if, even though violence among young people have existed before, movies and TV shows that show violence among young people have also caused an increased amount of violence or more violent behavior among young people? Just because this event or situation has existed before doesn't mean that something happening now doesn't contribute to that thing happening. And that's what I'm looking for. Maurice's attempted refutation of Jane's argument is vulnerable to the criticism on which one of the following grounds. A. It presupposes that an unpopular policy cannot possibly achieve its intended purpose. He's not saying that we can't achieve our purpose. We're saying we shouldn't even consider this possibility or this policy. So A is out. B. It confuses a subjective judgment of private moral permissibility with an objective description of social facts. um we're not talking about morality here. We're not talking about judgments of morality. So B is out. C, it rules out something as a cause of a current phenomenon solely on the ground that the phenomenon used to occur without that thing. So I like C a lot. And if you were to plug things into the argument, it would work out really well. So the argument rules out something as a cause, and the something here would be movies and TV shows that depict violence. So it rules that out as a cause of a current phenomenon or violence among teenagers or young people solely on the ground that this violence used to occur without these movies and TV shows. So it works quite well. D, it cites purported historical facts that cannot possibly be verified. It, we can't not like, it's very easy to try and find whether or not violence among young people have predated movies and televisions. It would be very easy to find that out. So we're not citing specific historical facts that we can't verify by looking it up. So D's out. E, it relies on the ambiguity in the term violence to justify a claim. We're not using the term violence in an ambiguous way. Like, we know what violence means, and this is clearly not the flaw here. So E's out, and I'm left with C.